Welcome to Pot of Thunder, the recognized symbol of excellence in rock and roll podcasting, as mentioned in Forbes. There it is. Cha-ching. You know me. Come on.
Here come all flat
That's me.
balls, look like Necco wafers. He got pancake black balls to side. They're pancake balls. He got balls down to his knees. Walks in with his flat balls. He can do what he please.
That's right. It's your buddy Andy, America's little brother. And over there...
So you still believe in that?
Yeah, I believe in the flat balls theory. I'm putting some pamphlets together to distribute at
Panera.
At Panera. I'm going to wait in the bathroom for...
I actually hope you do that.
Slide them under the door.
Oh, I'll help you.
Okay.
I love this idea.
That would be. I was going to say the farmer's market, but oh yeah, there's another money idea, huh? Big money
in the
coming.
Farmer's market.
Yep. Yeah, it wouldn't be too far off from some of the other kooks that stop you at the farmer's market. There's this lady, God bless her. I'm sure she doesn't listen to the show. She still calls me periodically because I foolishly signed up for something because I wanted her to leave me alone. So I just wrote my number down. I don't know why I did it. A moment of weakness.
Yeah.
I just wanted her to leave me alone. I should have wrote a fake number. She calls me sometimes, and she's like, "Oh, just wondering if you're still in." She's always tired sounding. Wondering if you're still interested in the vertical garden tower.
You know what that is? That's the kind of people that...
Yeah, that's right.
Persistence.
That's right.
Yeah, she's tired because of her exhaustive sales techniques with people.
It's true.
Just relentless phone calls and selling all the time.
She hasn't slept in weeks.
No. Well, he already came in, but he's going to get up and dance around the room. Here he goes. Nick Pollock. There he is. Look at that. More cha-chings. Look at that. Look at him go, kicking up some dust.
Good evening, young gentlemen.
I like that glissando at the end. I never noticed that.
That one?
Yeah.
That's you, isn't it?
I
think it is.
On the recording, and then
you.
yeah, you always did it live.
Yeah. Oh, Nick Pollock's in the house. Nick, what do you got over there in your lap? A clear bottle of what is that beverage?
It's I don't know, some special ginger ale I picked up.
It's got
my
like
journeys.
It's got like what is that? Where it like settles at the bottom.
Yeah.
You got to turn it up. Now it's got a more opaque,
Yeah,
whitish, opaque look to it.
Spicy ginger, I believe.
Spicy. You know who's spicy?
Who?
You want him. We got him. Come on.
Succumb to my power, my age, and my weight. All of which are considerable.
Yes. Ladies and gentlemen, put your hands together for Chris Al. He's the breakout star of the podcast medium. We're like 10 minutes into the show already. If you're a new listener, you've already turned it off. But
who are these?
They didn't
who
make
are
it
these
through
guys?
the flat balls intro.
That's what I was thinking.
It's a lengthy one.
We felt the need to extend it this week.
We like it, but it's probably pushing it with most other people out there.
Yeah.
He can do what he pleased, just
That's
like
true.
the song.
That's
You
true.
can.
That's true. So we're coming off the heels of another Slam Dunk episode. A lot of rave reviews. Nick, what did you say? You read a comment that said something about how we had some dud, not episodes, but dud songs that
The
we
songs that were covered, we had, according to the comment that I read, and I apologize, I forget who it was who posted it, but we had a sort of a dry streak.
Mm-hmm.
And then we've been on a roll, apparently, as far as the songs that have been chosen.
Mm-hmm.
And now Andy's going to keep the train a-rolling.
Nope. Derailing it. Intentional derailment coming today.
Well, I mean, it's only as intentional as what you do to the songs that are given you.
That's true.
So
because we will be going to the listener submission list shortly.
Are you guys hungry?
I'm starving.
Thank goodness.
I had a little tummy ache earlier.
Double treats tonight.
Oh, that's good, because I'll say this without being too graphic. I have an empty stomach right now.
Okay.
And I ate about 2 hours ago, so
Oh,
do the
boy.
math. I'm hungry again. So, Nick, I got a question.
Yes.
Is it baked?
One of them is, yes.
Good enough for me. Bing! Yay!
Time for a baked treat. Baked treat.
That's what I'm going to be doing again in about an hour. Nick, what do you got over there?
Well, I guess I'll start with the baked portion.
Ooh, it's foil. I love it.
This was inspired by a Paula Deen video I was watching.
Oh boy.
Wait, which one was it? Careful. Get the edit button.
Yeah. Watch out
Oh my
for that
gosh.
audio.
It's
What is that called? The dump button
Yeah.
in the radio business. Get your finger on the dump button.
well, I made a couple pieces for you gentlemen. It's a Depression 1930s era recipe. A water pie. So
Nick, what is a
What
water?
the fuck does that mean?
Yeah, what does that mean? So you say Depression era and water. That makes me think this is a time when they're trying to come up with something when they have a shortage of ingredients
Yeah,
due to
ultimately
what's happening in the
it's
economy.
a pie crust.
It looks like a pizza with no sauce,
it's a pie.
like a deep dish pizza.
It's essentially a Hoosier sugar pie, really.
Okay.
But-
What's that? I don't even know what that is.
It's hard to explain, I guess, but all this is it's a pie crust. You pour a bunch of water into it, so you just have a pie crust with water. You
Is this just ice and
you
a pie crust,
you
Nick?
sprinkle sugar and flour over it,
Yeah.
and then you put you cut up chunks of butter
That's it?
and sit it in there, and then I put a little vanilla in it,
Wow.
and then you bake it, and it turns into this. And I had a piece earlier; it's pretty good. So
This is some bum.
Interesting.
This is some hobo pie.
this is kind of this is like a Hoover pie, I guess you could say.
I don't know what that means. What does that mean?
Because Hoover was the president at
Oh,
the
I
time,
thought
and the cardboard shacks, or not cardboard, but the shacks and little shanty towns that they would form in the parks. They called those Hoover hotels.
I did not
In,
know.
in,
I did not know
in
that either.
quote unquote honor of the president at the time.
See, I thought a Hoover pie was a sex act. All for all these years.
Something involving a vacuum cleaner.
Exactly.
Yeah, right. Of course, it costs money to run the electricity, so
Yeah,
they
well,
kind
that's
of
out.
put that on the back burner. Something else that went on in the Depression era, when you're looking for entertainment that doesn't cost really any money and you have to be creative with it, I believe that's when the practice of water sports began.
That's
It's
when it
just
began.
simple entertainment. People had no other options but to urinate on each other, and they discovered that it was a joy.
That's all that was left.
Yeah, credit that to the Depression era.
There's nothing to do. No other entertainment.
Oh, it's
You
free,
could have a conversation.
especially after you've had a couple pieces of water pie. You've got some
That's true.
build up in the bladder.
A cup and a half of water in this recipe.
Piss on each other. You don't have a pot to piss in, but you have a partner to piss on. So that was the motto. Of course, if you lived in a cardboard shanty, that got a little dicey.
Yeah, you'd have to get a new one.
That
Yeah.
compromises the structural soundness.
Exactly. You have to be precise with your aim.
All right, and you have something else
I
that
do.
you want to share with us?
I do. I just got back from a little road trip
Oh, that's right.
to the Cincinnati area.
Yes.
And anybody out there listening from that area, congratulations.
What are they?
You
what?
have the greatest grocery store in the entire universe.
Kroger?
No, I think there's only one. Jungle Jim's.
Oh, boy.
Unbelievable place. I brought back just a little something for you guys.
Okay.
The coveted Curly Whirly bar.
Oh, the Curly Whirly.
Oh yeah, we talked.
Once known as the Marathon Bar.
Look at this. It's like a fruit roll-up. I
But
mean,
it's
the appearance.
Yeah,
But it's still
yeah.
chocolate caramel,
Yeah,
right?
yeah. So
Interesting.
yeah,
So they're
this
still making these somewhere. They're just not available.
it was in the British area.
What do you mean the British area?
It was an international market, and so they had it kind of each aisle.
Oh, I
was
thought
a
you
different
meant the
country.
British area of Cincinnati.
Oh.
I didn't know there was such a thing.
It's like Chinatown. They
Yeah.
have a British area.
People with bad teeth and shitty food in a certain part of Cincinnati. Speaking of shitty food, did you try any of the indigenous chili of Cincinnati?
No, I didn't. But you would have thought I did if you
People,
know what I mean.
people, it's very polarizing. I believe there's a cinnamon element to that
Really?
chili.
Yeah, I've had it. And
No,
it's,
I just
and it's
just
go ahead.
hearing that, I've never tried it. I don't think I would like it. I don't think cinnamon belongs in chili.
I think it's often served on spaghetti too.
Well, yeah, that
Really?
too, but which
Yeah.
is it's like a steak and shake.
I didn't encounter any of that.
but
Yeah,
what is it? Skyline chili? Is that what they call
yeah,
it?
that's the.
Yeah, you don't put cinnamon in chili. That's
I could
just
see.
not right.
I could see that working.
No, I couldn't.
I've had it. I thought it was fine, but I've never
Is
gone out
it
of my.
powerful, the cinnamon, or is it subtle?
It's subtle.
I don't know if I would even try it, knowing that cinnamon's in there.
It makes me think of like a mole sauce, even though there's a lot more in a mole sauce.
Listen to us. We're so cultured.
Well,
I'm just saying that I'm not, it's very polarizing, the Cincinnati chili, apparently. I've just never tried it, but all the locals rave about it, Oh, you got to try it. No, I don't feel like it.
That's true. That is a thing. And you always have your whatever town you're from has their food that you feel like you have to force on out of towners.
Well, like in Detroit, when we went to American Coney Island, this guy orders a spanakopita. He wasn't having it either, so I get it.
Yeah, you can't blame them, right?
Not really.
Just not
'Cause
my thing.
He's not a hot dog guy. Which,
No.
by the way, we're recording today on National Hot Dog Day. Did you know that?
I did not know that. That's today, huh?
Yep.
I thought it was National Water Pie Day.
Yeah.
Here we go.
Water Sports Day.
That's tomorrow.
Get your kiddie pools out.
You don't want to ruin the hardwood, right? Or the carpet.
No.
no, it's like if a cat sprays in the house, it's all over.
If you're going to do something, do it right.
Prepare.
It's
all
like it's like they say measure twice and cut once.
Yes.
Okay, so here's what we're going to do.
Aim twice, piss once.
No cleanup.
That's how that works.
All right. It's my turn to pick from the listener submission list, but first we need Nick to fire up the Bozo Pewter.
Here I go.
I just before we get started, I just want to point out the irony of that comment I just made. Of if you're going to do something, do it right. Something we've never done on this show. So
Never.
thought that was funny.
Yeah, there's a lot
Applying that to urinating on somebody else, but it does not apply to this show. Shows you where our priorities are at.
Yeah. All right. Well, Nick, pull the lever for the
man.
Bozo Pewter. Fire it up.
Here it go.
Stand by. Let's go over to the Bozo Pewter.
All right, I got number 2437. Looking that up.
That was quick.
Wow.
Get that out of my face.
Are you going to continue revealing the name of the submitter, or would you rather not?
Sure, this one came from a fella, nice guy named Tyler.
But Andy
Is
just
it the only
is not,
only time it was submitted, that song?
Yes.
Andy's just not feeling it.
Not
huh?
feeling it. Nothing wrong with it. It'll be there for you guys to choose or me to choose at a later date. But
So
today,
this is not one you're going to revert back to.
no, it's just out.
It's just out.
Throw it out. Give me a second pull, Nick. All right, number 1235. So much excitement here. What do we got? Got it right in front of me. Oh, no.
That sounds like an oh no, I have to pick this kind of oh no.
Yeah. I have to. It has to happen.
All right.
But it's an oh no, but it has to happen.
Oh, well, that's the best kind.
All right. Well, here we go. It's time to turn the microphone over to Chris Jericho.
All right, Hamill. This one's called
Juke Box Hero.
Okay.
Off of
For
by the band.
Foreigner.
Ow!
Okay.
Oh,
Yeah, this had to happen.
Can't say no to
Yeah.
this.
Yeah.
It's on the list twice.
Only twice.
Only
Huh?
twice.
And it's appropriate it came to you because it contains one of your all-time favorite vocal moments.
Several, but yeah.
Yeah. This might be right up there with Shooting Star by Bad Company for you, right?
Yep. And Sultans of Swing.
Sultans of Swing. I
That one
never
here.
knew you had an aversion to that
It's
one.
one of those as soon as I
Yeah.
hear it.
Not that I blame you for it.
Yeah.
My skin crawls when I
agree.
hear that
One
song.
of the most overrated songs in the pantheon of rock, in my opinion.
A memorable guitar riff, but that's literally all that there is in that
Well,
song.
some would argue with you. This is, Sultans of Swing is the Skyline Chili of music. Actually, there are very few people who dislike that song. Apparently, a lot of people would challenge your opinion there. I, for one, agree with it.
Give me-
Overrated.
Give me Walk of Life with the sports bloopers video.
Wow.
Infinitely
any
better.
day.
Infinitely better.
Give me the entire Making Movies album over that. That's a quality release right there.
All right. I don't even know the whole thing. I know the title. The whole thing's good?
Yeah.
Really? Worth digging into? All
Classic.
right.
Great shit on there.
All right. So here's what I got to tell you guys. This was submitted twice. The first time it was submitted by Foreigner.
Oh, wow. Okay.
So
Well,
they're listeners of the show, apparently.
they could have come to us personally.
Yeah.
They could have sent us a direct message. It would have been all right.
Well, there's no... one of the sticking points for a lot of people is that there aren't any... There are occasional and more frequent performances lately where there are no original members of the band, so they didn't feel comfortable coming to us directly since they're all ringers, apparently, in the minds of people, the purists out there.
It's like the Temptations or what other groups are out there like that. A lot of those old time singing groups. I think they say they're. Well, Andy, who did you see? You said there was one guy.
Cool in the Gang?
Was
Is
that
what
it?
you're talking about? Or
No. You said there was one where there was an older guy.
Oh,
What group was that?
the Shy Lights?
The Shy Lights.
Yeah. He was some, God bless him for still doing it, but he was sitting in a chair the whole time and pretty much just hanging out. And then he would do that thing that those old time guys do where the band starts playing the song. He'll be like, Summer 1963.
A little spoken word narration.
Yeah. It was just, hey, this is when this single came out.
That qualifies.
I like that, though. I wish if we still had a band, I would have been doing that every time.
Every song.
At least the next show after I saw
Every
that, I would have
song.
done it for
April
every
2001.
Yeah.
Every song.
All right, so here's what Foreigner says. I sometimes take flack. This band is just commercial pop. I think they rock. Looking forward to hearing your take. Love you guys and catch you on Facebook. You guys talking to Foreigner on Facebook? They're not talking to me?
Not that I know of.
It's funny how
Not
sometimes...
that I would mind it, but I'm not aware
Yeah,
of.
we might have a thing going on.
Oh, Nick. See, it's funny how sometimes listeners they choose which one of us they want to communicate with.
that is true.
Foreigners,
That is true.
they're big Nick Pollock
I guess
fans,
so,
apparently. All right, so the other submission. Kenny D. I'm not familiar with Kenny D. At least not without knowing who it is.
3 letters away from the noted saxophonist.
He's tuning it down a little bit
Yeah,
these days.
exactly. He can't hit the G note anymore, so he's ratcheted it down to a D. Well, that's the other thing with horn players. It's like you have to play in a certain key or whatever. It's like it's not a full range instrument. Apparently, it's not anytime there's a horn player around. They're like, you can only play in these keys. Okay, how about you get off the stage instead? Then we don't need you that bad. All apologies to the guy who was on our Brian Setzer episode, but
Fair enough.
And it's all the more reason
Touch of sax.
to exclude a fucking harmonica player because they can only play in the whatever the key is, their harmonica. It's like, how about you don't play at all? How about you leave?
Yeah, but those guys show up with fishing vests full of different
Well,
keys
that's
and
true.
harmonicas. You can't get them to leave. You can't
Well,
do the same
you
thing
could with
a
a fucking baseball bat.
So you can't have that many saxophones on you, but
Sick Brian Snyder and his belt on him. Get rid of him. So beating on the floor in front of the stage.
all right. So Kenny D says the song "Urgent" was the big hit on the radio.
Yes,
So
it
I went
was.
out and bought the album 4 and instantly fell in love with Juke Box Hero. With my dad's help, I was saving up on my paper route and buying nice stereo equipment to play my ever-growing record collection. I had bought some speakers and borrowed my dad's amp and turntable and had a makeshift old wooden cabinet to hold it all in my room. What was this guy, Gene Shepard? Jesus Christ. That Christmas, my dad bought me my own amp and wait, did I read that already? No. And turntable and cabinet, and had moved everything from my room out to the family room and played Juke Box Hero at full blast to wake everyone up early Christmas morning.
That's memorable.
That is cool.
Yeah.
Good story, Ken.
Well, especially that intro. It's like you're not sure what's going on with hearing that in the house. And then when it busts into the heavy part, you're suddenly rocked out of your bed and ready for Christmas Day.
So what are your thoughts on this song? Maybe the band in general? Anything you guys want to say before we get started?
It's not a band I've ever sought out because with Chicago rock radio, I never really had to, at least for the hits.
Right.
So I never got that far into them, but I'm sure I know quite a few songs. I don't know. I mean,
They got a lot of hits, man.
yeah. I mean, this is like
There's no two ways about it.
I always think of Boston. Not that they sound the same necessarily, but I always think of them together.
In that wheelhouse,
with
you got
Foreigner.
the Boston, you got Foreigner, you got Styx, REO Speedwagon, Journey is probably in that mix.
I throw Bad Company in there, too.
Yeah.
I would say so. Bad Company was probably the first of them, and you know what? They all get siloed into what you know the cooler than now nerdy critics refer to as corporate rock. And in fact, I've seen some of them tack on the word cynical corporate rock in front of it. It's like,
Why?
I don't
What does that mean?
understand
I
that.
don't
It's
get that.
their attitude is like, well, if you want to be popular, you must be cynically taking advantage of all the simpletons out there who just like accessible hooky music. It's like, what's cynical about wanting to be popular and writing songs that you know a large amount of people are going to enjoy? There's more credibility to just farting around in obscurity with your shitty zero hooks music.
Well, those
Fuck that.
and those are and kind of an extension of what you're saying. Those are bands that you hear sometimes. Punk had to happen to kind of cleanse the palate of these bands
Yeah,
that were
give me a
these
break.
arena bands that were so polished and swollen and successful.
Whatever.
It's the worst.
That pendulum
Yeah.
has gone back and forth so many times. It's you know, there's room for everything. And I'll say it again. Back in the 70s, whatever music you were into, it was all accessible. You know, disco wasn't shutting down the rock stations. There were plenty of rock stations. Punk rock didn't get played on the radio, but it was available. Nothing was... You weren't being deprived of anything, regardless of the music you were into. But, you know, it was fashionable to, and still is to some degree, to slag on the stuff that you didn't like and find fault in it. But that whole cynical corporate rock is so fucking stupid. So you're cynical because you want to be popular? That makes no sense. It's like you're taking advantage of people.
You
It's like they
tricked.
like what they like.
Well, I mean, there aren't too many bands that come up out of nowhere, you know, where there's nothing going on that sounds like this. How many bands do we love that were simply a product of the sound going on at the time?
Yeah,
they would have been these guys would have been in a different band with a different sound if it was a different time.
Yeah, for sure.
Pretty much every band that we listen to and that we like, that's there aren't too many, I think, that would sound the same no matter what time they were, no matter what era they were coming
But they
on.
were writing accessible hits, and there's nothing wrong with it. And then here, Foreigner 4, produced by Mutt Lange. You get Mutt Lange to produce you're going to have some hook-laden, accessible hits out the wazoo, and that's what you want. And that's what the fans want, too.
What's on this one? We've got Urgent.
Oh, there you go.
I
Yeah.
mean, we talked about that. What else is on here?
Well, the opening track, Nightlife,
Mm-hmm.
is essentially a direct rip of All American Man.
Really?
I didn't realize how exact it is
Really?
until I reheard it recently. The riff is exact, and it's what 2-3 years after All American Man came out. It's the
Yeah.
exact riff.
Wow. You think they? I would assume they were, because like All American Man's not a huge hit, but people knew it.
Well, that's what I'm saying. I don't think there's no way they could have been completely unaware of it. I mean, like the verses are different, but the main chorus riff is exactly the same. Play the first part of it, you'll hear it.
There we go. Hold on, let's get this fired up. Nightlife.
Just a quick. It's exact.
That's it.
It's a good song. I like it. It's a great rocker. You also got what's the Waiting for a Girl Like You, is that on here?
Yeah, yeah.
Girl on the Moon, is that on here?
Yes.
Underrated power ballad, slow tempo song from them, or really anybody. It's a great
I
one.
don't think I know that one. That's an interesting
Very,
title. for a
very
power
good,
ballad.
very good song.
All right. Well, here's what I remember about this song. I'm going to go back. I'm going to make up a year, but I'm going to say like 2001 or 2000 or something like that. So I would have been a late teenager. One day Nick came home from work
Oh boy.
and said, I heard this song today. Because this wasn't our music, right?
Sure.
So this is 1981.
Yeah.
Nick was 1. I wasn't born yet. I was born 2 years later. So this wasn't our music, and, we weren't listening to this stuff. But Nick was like, I heard this song. Maybe you'd heard it before this, but you're like, you got to listen to it. It's the most ridiculous vocal I've ever heard in my life. And you told me when you listened to it, you started laughing out loud.
I don't remember this at all.
And then I think we downloaded it off of like Napster.
And what year
or-
was this?
Like 2000 maybe.
Okay. And you had never heard Juke Box Hero
Never.
before.
Never.
That surprises me because you, even stumbling across the Loop or any other rock station, you would be guaranteed to hear this
I think this is
at some point.
that kind of stuff. Once you start working,
That's what it
usually
was,
someone
right?
has the radio on, and you're going to hear this song.
Working with older guys.
Yeah.
Nick was like 20 years
At
old.
that point,
working
I
with
was
guys who were
working at the
probably
lumber
30s,
yard, so
40s.
I'm sure I was hearing this quite a bit.
Guys who are, instantly their chests puff out when they hear Foreigner coming on.
Yeah. But we can get into it as we go. What my reaction to it was the first time I heard it. But that's how Nick sold it to me when he came home from work.
I'm
one day.
interested. Well, he says he doesn't remember that at all, but I'm interested to hear if his opinion has changed at all over the years. When's the last time you heard this song, do you think?
Oh, I don't know. It's been probably a few years.
Wow.
I mean,
Okay.
I haven't really been anywhere that they've played it. I don't listen to the radio very much.
Me too. I haven't heard it in a few years.
See, whenever they're on semi-frequently on like Access TV, they're like a live show, I will always watch it because the current band with Kelly Hansen on vocals is good, if not better, than they've ever been.
Wow.
Here's my hot take: Kelly Hansen, better singer than Lou Graham.
Wow.
That's right, I just said it.
Okay. I mean, hey, that's,
I mean, that
They're-
guy can really belt it out. He's got a great voice and great stage presence. He used to sing in Hurricane.
that's something that can happen to a band once they've been successful for a long time. They're looking for a new guy. They get somebody who's
Well, for a while
completely
there,
awesome.
Lou Gramm wasn't capable of doing it. He had some sort of brain condition, and he just couldn't physically do it. So they had to bring in the new guy. But he's a better live singer than Lou Gramm, in my opinion.
All right. Well, are you guys ready to dive into this?
Yeah.
Track 2 of, oh my God. Well, I guess there's 10 probably on the original, and this one has 2 more nearly unplugged additional songs at the end.
Yeah, nobody's interested in that.
There's
but,
Juke Box Hero, nearly
nobody
unplugged.
wants that. No, nobody
Waiting-
wants it.
Waiting for a girl like you, nearly unplugged.
All right. Yeah, get it. Good one. Just say unplugged. Get enough of the nearly. Yeah, it's nothing new. So this is track 2 on this, huh?
Yep.
It's quite a 1-2 punch to open it. Nightlife and the Juke Box Hero. What's
Yeah.
track 3?
Break It Up.
Oh, that's another one that got some airplay. Yeah, this is a Mutt Lange album. Every song is probably worthy of being a single. Huge release.
So 81. What? Like, I don't know the Mutt Lange timeline. Obviously, most famous for Def Leppard. Maybe not obviously. In my world, most famous for Def Leppard.
I'd say
Well, I
so.
think High and Dry came out in 81, didn't it?
Is it the
right
same?
around this
I was going to
time?
say, was
Did
that
he
the
do
same?
High and Dry?
He did, yeah.
Did he? Okay.
And
Okay.
Pyromania 83.
Yeah.
I was going to say, I knew that.
Well, Back in Black, he did.
There you go.
Well, it that was Bob Rock. I was about to say Loverboy, Get Lucky, who also falls under the cynical corporate rock heading. But Get Lucky came out in 81, I believe.
Okay.
People like easily digestible music, and these guys had the formula, especially with Mutt Lange along.
Mm-hmm.
But even leading up to the previous 3 albums, you could rattle off a dozen classic rock staples off those 3.
Damn. Foreigner still got it, though, huh? Live?
Yeah.
So I'm going to have to check
They
that
got
out, too.
Jeff Pilson of Dokken is on bass. They've got Jason Bonham has been the drummer.
Oh, really? He's...
Brian Tichy has played drums for them. It's like a rotating several drummers. The sax player just quit, so they've got a new guy doing that. But Mick Jones picks and chooses. Yeah, another Jones. There's got to be some solidarity there, but he picks and chooses the gigs he wants to do. That's why he's not always at every gig. So when he's not doing a gig, there are no original members on stage.
You think he still gets a check?
Oh, fuck yeah.
That's
Absolutely.
the way to do it.
Yeah. Plus, he's like 90 now. I mean, the fact he even can get up there at all is...
Summer 1981.
So, I mean, the last time they played Festival of the Lakes here in Hammond, I went and saw him, and he did not participate in that gig.
No.
Me being, a music/guitar nerd, I thought I felt a little bit slightly cheated that he wasn't on stage. Nobody else in the whole venue gave a damn. This is a band that doesn't matter who the members are. It's all about the songs.
Yeah, that's kind of an interesting thing, because that's going to be happening more and more pretty much every year.
Yeah.
These bands are going to survive with who, you know what I mean? As these guys
probably
unfortunately drop off. But it seems like there's still a market for a lot of this music. So
Absolutely.
you said this, so now I have to tell the story. I'll make it quick. I went to the Festival of the Lakes in Hammond last weekend.
You saw Sammy, right?
I saw Sammy Hagar in the Circle.
And
So I'll make it quick here, but here's what I thought was funny. I was like, I'm going to take my daughters to one of these things. Not that necessarily it needs to be like Barney and Friends or something, but I'm like, Sammy Hagar's good. We'll go see Sammy Hagar. That's a good one to take the girls to, instead of like Busta Rhymes or Limp Bizkit.
If you knew your Kiss history, you might have thought differently.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which
you
part?
know, any
Oh, no.
history. But
Well, which?
The part where he got kicked off the tour.
I don't even remember that story. I don't know if I've ever heard it. Okay, but anyway, that was my thought. Not that it's that big of a deal, but okay, we're walking in. I've got the 2 girls in the stroller. I'm walking in and I hear Sammy. Like I could hear him on the mic giving this, this banter between songs. He's like, it's the first motherfucking show we've done in a year and a half. And he says motherfucking like Richard Pryor that many times. I'm like, okay, what's this guy doing? This motherfucker over here. This motherfucker. And he's like, what is he doing? But because I also thought, this is like a family festival.
Yeah,
he's
well,
like,
that's
whatever.
been out the window for a while.
Has it been? Yeah. See, I haven't been there in over 10
You
years.
should have taken him to REO Speedwagon.
That would've been-
Those guys don't have to work blue.
But then here's the next part. He's like, yeah, they said it'd be like riding a bike. It ain't like no motherfucking bike. Maybe it's like having sex. Like the crowd cheered. I'm like, what?
Great.
What does that even mean? And then whatever, I don't remember what song. They start playing some song, and he stops and he goes, I need some pussy. And the crowd cheers. I'm like, what is this, Ted Nugent?
Wholesome family entertainment.
What have I taken my children to?
Did he punctuate it with his vagina hand symbol that he made famous during the OU812 era? Where he does this.
It's like the Diamond Dallas Page diamond cutter
whatever.
symbol. Yeah.
In Sammy's world, that's the opening of a vagina. Flashing it out for everybody to see.
Chris, if you'd like to read this classic rock
really
story
want
here,
to,
this is
but-
Sammy. The quote here, just a quick sentence there about his touring with Kiss back in the day.
Fuck you, I said, and dropped my pants, pulled out my dick, and smashed my fucking 61 Stratocaster to pieces on stage. All right.
So there you go.
Quit the tour.
He got thrown off the tour, I'm pretty sure.
Which tour was that?
Let's see if I can get a year here. 77.
Really?
Yeah.
That was a
Pull my
Love
dick
Gun
out.
tour. That was when Kiss was at their apex.
It must have been.
So yeah, they weren't suffering any fools on that track.
No, I just
Like,
thought.
pull your dick out, you're off the tour. It's as simple as that.
Well, that's true.
Well,
I just thought it was funny. Maybe not funny, but just a head scratcher that this guy who's 73 is.
and I
is
still
yelling
have
about.
I still have a hard time at like a free festival on a lake during the summer, like a carnival atmosphere that I guess they're not going to tell everybody, hey, no profanity. But
Well, they hired Limp Bizkit.
well,
for
yeah,
Christ's sake.
and I mean, I remember when I went to the night that Everclear was there. I remember and I remember just thinking like, this is kind of. I don't remember this from when I was younger when they would have shows.
When you
at
go
this
see
fest.
Steppenwolf.
When Steppenwolf,
That's next motherfucker.
Kay didn't do that.
It's called.
They didn't have to do it. They didn't have to work blue, like I said. Go to REO Speedwagon. Those guys are pros. You're gonna hear great songs, and you're not gonna hear. They're not gonna take it into the gutter. It's not gonna utter the word pussy through the mic. It's not gonna happen.
I mean, think about Andy and I were in a band
Yeah.
15 years ago, and some of that
Jeez,
kind of
that's
stuff
true.
was being said into the microphone to like 10, 15
Well,
people.
exactly.
Sometimes. It wasn't.
And you never were rehired
It
at
wasn't-
any venue
it
except
wasn't
for
the-
my cafe.
It wasn't the entire city of Hammond.
right.
Yeah, he
I
said
mean-
there was 12,000 people there.
Did it seem like there were that many actually?
Maybe.
Yeah.
Yeah, you can certainly fill that many people at that outdoor pavilion.
Yeah.
That's crazy. That
It's like Two Life Crew.
I mean, really, it is.
When I saw Davy Jones there in the late 90s.
I wish I would have went.
How
to
many
that
times
show.
did he say pussy?
Zero,
Like,
but his gestures made it known that he was needing some.
I'll bet.
And all the women in the crowd were available probably after.
Oh, he was probably running a train backstage. God bless him,
Yeah,
too.
he was great. I was instantly a fan after watching him.
Good.
It was like Austin Powers in real life, the way that guy behaved on the stage.
I love it.
Great. All right, well, we got to get into this,
Yeah,
guys.
it's already a full episode here. This is a long song, too, isn't it?
Yeah, it is.
5-ish?
4:19.
Oh,
that's
that's
not
not
too
bad. They stretch it out live.
So did
Bust
Sammy.
into
in 77.
Yeah, well, he thought he did, but now this is one this is one live Foreigner that goes on for a good 10 minutes. They bust into a whole lot of love in the middle of it.
Okay.
So
All right. Well, let's first have a moment for some words from our lovely sponsors.
Okay.
All right, guys, you ready? Let's do
I need a moment.
What for?
Just to soak in the glory of that commercial.
It's good, right?
Yeah.
It's good stuff.
I feel I'm a kindred spirit to that company.
See, we
yeah.
connect the listener to the companies that matter out there, that make a difference in this world.
Such difference.
Mm-hmm. Other podcasts aren't doing that for you.
No,
They're just trying to sell you whatever.
They-
Not us.
They're just collecting, not knowing what they're selling you.
Exactly. We have ethics here. All right, let's get started.
So when you first heard this, did you hear the whole thing?
I probably
Were
didn't
you-
even hear this.
Yeah, I doubt it. Right?
'Cause, I mean, it's something like it creeps up on you unless you're like sitting down listening to the album. Which by the time 4 came out, people were into Foreigner. We were buying the album, sitting down, listening to it. But even so, you hear this intro and you're just like, okay, what's going on here? You know, it's like a percolating earthquake coming your way. And, you know, if for the first time hearing it, I would think you'd be somewhat intrigued about what's coming up next.
It sounds like a Peter Gabriel song or
Oh,
something.
please, don't.
Doesn't
don't
it?
do that.
With this kind of like world music, almost
I hear
percussion.
There's no percussion,
but it's
going
got
on.
a
There's a kick drum.
It's got a percussive. The keyboard has like a percussive quality to it, like a piece of a percussion.
there's something. Well, if you take out everything else from the song, this is
This
odd. This is an odd intro.
This intro, yeah.
It also was very different for Foreigner to have like, I mean, they had, you know, keys and synths pretty prominent on their previous stuff, but like this low end sort of like sub bass thing going on. It's very intriguing.
Standing in the rain with his head hung low.
Okay, let's just look. Let's just establish this right off the bat. Okay, it's a storytelling song. It's beyond cheesy. Okay, but it resonates with people.
Sure.
People are into it. They can relate to it. It's something that, you know, it's relatable. And
Yeah.
that makes it cheesy to a lot of people.
Mm-hmm. You know what I think? Another thing that maybe the connection Nick made with sharing it with me that I'm hearing now.
I think I know what you're gonna.
Are you gonna say that it reminded you of the singing voice that Trey Parker does on South Park and basketball and stuff?
Because he would exaggerate this type of singing style to comic effect.
Yep.
So then, therefore, retroactively,
the stuff before it,
stuff becomes funny that maybe wasn't before.
I think that's what's happening.
Yeah,
here.
I think that's fair.
Mm-hmm.
Couldn't get a ticket. It was a sold out show. Heard the roar of the crowd. He could picture the scene. Put his ear to the wall. Then like a distant scream.
Oh, I thought you were stopping.
No, I
me.
was getting ready for this is where the guitar fades in and then it punches you in the face.
All right.
He heard one guitar. Just blew him away. Saw stars in his eyes. And the very next day.
That guitar sounds good.
Yeah.
You know, Foreigners, they're not necessarily known. Like I said before, the songs are what people like. It doesn't matter who's up there playing them. The vocals are a big thing, but there's some great musicianship. Even, you know, this, I want to say this is when, because they started out as a 6-piece. And I want to say that by the 4th album, 4 also meant that I think they reduced down to a 4-piece. But But the musicianship is always solid. The guitars sounded good. Drums could be better, but good sounding guitar. Heavy and gets your attention. It's well done.
And it's an age-old subject matter for a rock and roll song.
What's he talking about?
Johnny Be Good. Juke Box Hero, Johnny Be Good.
The downtrodden kid who just
rock and roll hell almost.
Embraces music and it empowers him and catapults him to greatness. It's a classic story.
Ziggy Stardust, perhaps.
Bought a beat up 6-string in a secondhand store. Didn't know how to play it, but it knew for sure.
This was me over the weekend. Over hanging out at 2nd and Charles.
Yeah. Did you see a guitar? Is that what
They
you're
have
saying?
guitars there.
I didn't even know they
Secondhand
They
guitars.
do.
Yeah, I had no idea. Okay.
Yeah,
Pieces of shit, but they're there.
Well, I mean, is it just whatever's being resold?
yeah, they're usually.
Does it have to
Don't
be a
they have
piece of shit?
like house brand guitars there? though?
That I don't know. I know
I'm
they
pretty
have
sure they do.
a lot of
there's
ukuleles.
shit, but
a lot of ukuleles, things like
Yeah.
that. But they got some guitars, some like a drum set usually.
I had no idea.
it's all crap. But it's there. Didn't Best Buy dabble in musical instruments for a while?
Did they?
I want to say they did, but it was a short-lived experiment.
Yeah, I don't remember that. I know they would have accessories.
Yeah,
You could get strings at Best Buy sometimes.
interesting.
Walk in there now. It's unrecognizable from what it was like
What?
Best Buy from like
Oh, yeah.
25 years ago.
Well, yeah.
All physical media gone. It's just like
well,
appliances,
appliances and TVs and computer shit,
phones.
cell phone stuff. But
Lot
yeah,
of
there's
cell
no
phone stuff.
physical media. That's what you go to 2nd and Charles for. That's what it's there
Yeah.
for. But
We can get vinyl, I think, almost anywhere now. They have a small vinyl section,
yeah,
which is kind of strange.
It's weird. Target has it.
Yeah,
I know that.
pretty much everywhere now.
Weird.
That one guitar felt good in his hands. Didn't take long to understand. Just one guitar.
now what exactly are you guys laughing at? We've established that
yeah.
it's cheesy.
It's just so
It's so over the-
top,
yeah.
the vocal delivery. It's not bad. It's just so unnecessarily over the top.
You think so?
I
huh?
think so. It's like
mean-
it's on 10 the whole time.
I don't know. During the
He's on 10 even when he's speaking because he's emoting at 10
Well,
even if
I
his
guess
volume's
so.
not
Yeah.
at 10.
well, he was one of the most respected vocalists of the era.
I'm not knocking his abilities. That's just what makes me laugh because it's almost like meatloafy where it's almost theatrical.
I can
Yeah.
get on board with that.
Which,
and there's nothing wrong with it.
Yeah, like from before what Chris said, it's a storytelling song.
Yeah.
So it makes sense that there'd be a theatrical element. But that doesn't change the fact that it is over the top for sure.
Yeah.
And it's of course not a knock at ability or even the execution itself. I mean, it's it's well done.
Oh yeah.
But yeah, he's going full throttle
Right, but
every
is
every
it necessary to laugh at it, though,
If
is
it
my
makes you-
question?
You can't control why you laugh.
I guess not. I will say that I never thought of it in that meatloaf theatrical context, but you guys are spot on with that. I mean, this one, you could write an entire Broadway play based on this one song.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I never thought of it that way. But yeah, no. I mean, all those guys, go down the list. Dennis DeYoung, Brad Delp, Lou Gramm, even Kevin Cronin. All the cynical corporate singers could fucking sing. They could belt it out, and that's people are drawn to that. It resonates with them. You got to have the vocals, the melody have got to connect with people. Otherwise, you're not gonna really hit the big time.
And even though we laugh a little bit at how over the top it is, there's something to be said for that if that's obviously that's the desired effect of endearing it to the masses, to be bold and to put it out there.
Mm-hmm.
And
It commands attention.
You put it out there, you go all the way with it.
I mean, do you laugh when you listen to Bruce Dickinson? I mean, he's in this vein. I mean, talk about a guy who's like over the top in everything he does, and he makes no bones about it. He's like, I'm up there on stage to communicate to the kid in the very last row, a mile away from me. I'm singing to him. That's the attitude.
Yeah. I think Nick nailed it, though, when he said the South Park thing makes stuff that they were parodying before funny. Like, you laugh at it because you're looking at it through that lens.
I guess that makes sense because I never looked at it through that lens, and it was also when I was consuming this music in real time as it was coming out, and I mean, this type of vocal style was highly respected back then.
Yeah. I'm going to give you 10 seconds of this. Tell me if you don't hear it.
Your life is spinning out of control. Seems the whole world is out to get you. Everything is wrong. Nothing seems right.
To me, that's way more. Okay, shut it off now. That's enough.
Button stuck.
That's way more like straight Meatloaf rip. I don't hear that level of like grandiosity in Lou Graham's vocals. He's just singing with power and conviction. I think Meatloaf is way more into that.
Like the
that territory.
Lower whimpering almost.
Right, in the vibrato and all that stuff. He had coupled with Steinman, of course. That is absolutely rock theater.
Mm-hmm.
This could be too, but I honestly don't hear that as much in these vocals. It's just the lyrics and the story are by nature cheesy, and that's what I would assume you guys are kind of giggling at. But
I think I'm not saying you're wrong, but to me, he could be singing a phone book or whatever. It's just more the delivery that I don't know what it is. It's not that it's bad in any way. It's great. It's great technique and great ability, but just something about how dialed up he is makes me laugh. I don't know what it is. It doesn't. I'm not saying it sucks.
He showed up to the studio ready to bring his A game.
Yeah.
You're laughing at him?
I'm laughing with him.
Yeah.
I think he was laughing too.
It could be. That's the cynical part. It's like people think I'm serious singing about a Jukebox Hero when in fact I'm just laughing at this character and I just want to make money from my music.
Laughing all the way to the bank.
Well, exactly.
Perhaps.
Is that just a way to make music journalists who are supposed to be like cutting edge with whatever underground music? Is that their way of like, I can like this if I spin the intent of the artist, even though they've never said it. I can like this corporate rock if I say, oh, I think these guys they're really tricking the masses and I get it. So I can like it too,
right.
But I like it for a different reason.
Y'all are getting played, and I can see that, but you don't. So that makes me cooler than you.
But it is still the bomb.
Well,
it's
I don't even think they go.
Oh, they don't go that
far.
No,
okay, they don't like it.
Oh, okay. I thought that you were saying that they liked it.
No, it's not in front of people.
Why do you think none of these bands are in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, run by the fucking Jan Wenners of the world who had this attitude? Yeah. None of these bands are ever getting into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. Why not? They were fucking hugely successful.
Yeah. True.
All of those bands I rattled off were at the top of the heap in the late 70s.
Yeah.
So, Journey's in, aren't they?
I think so.
You have to. At some point, you got to relent and just be like...
Is Boston in?
Boston's not in. Mm-hmm. They're not getting in. REO is probably not going to ever get in.
That makes no sense.
Foreigner is never going to get in. They're like the laughingstock, which is ridiculous because hugely successful, great accessible songs, but they're cynical, they're corporate. Get out of here.
That's like
Stupid.
Honestly, that's like that's like someone like Johnny Bench not being in the Baseball Hall of Fame. You know what I mean? Like someone who obviously excelled for a long period of time.
Well, that should be the criteria. It's like, were they successful? Were they influential? You know, whatever you want to say. But I mean, I don't want to get in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame discussion because that's a rabbit hole I don't want to go down. But these bands are never getting in, and it's because the critics and the people with that Rolling Stone mentality just think it's beneath them. You know.
Slung way down low was a one-way ticket, only one way to go. So he started rocking, ain't never gonna stop. Gotta keep on rocking, someday gonna make it to the top and be a jukebox hero. Got stars in his eyes. He's a jukebox hero. He took one guitar, box hero, stars in his eyes. Jukebox hero.
Now you're hearing a lot of things, the Mutt Lange signature, the gang vocals going on, and that
Twangy,
that single note
Yeah.
thing that you the kind of thing you later hear in the chorus of "Pour Some Sugar on Me." It's a very like a Steve Clark type guitar arrangement. So you're hearing all of the Mutt Lange signature things going on.
I
here.
never noticed that guitar thing before. I don't
Yeah,
think
just
I
that
ever.
single note.
I like
going
it.
on.
Yeah. Can't deny the chorus is pretty incredible.
Yeah,
For-
the main riff when they transition from
Yeah.
one stage of the chorus to the next.
Well,
it's
and
a pretty potent riff, right
and it's
there.
like a halftime. Like
Yeah,
the
when
drum
they-
beats goes to half tempo.
Exactly.
It's-
The
it's-
tempo change is great.
It's a great transition. I mean, it's a song that in a live setting, I would imagine, gets the crowd going as soon as
like
that
I
part
told
kicks
you,
in.
they extend out that intro, and then they stretch out the middle of it. It's a good 10-minute song in concert, and people are loving it.
He'll come alive tonight. In a town without a name, in a heavy downpour,
It's the same thing.
thought he passed his own shadow by the backstage door, like a trip through the past to that day in the rain.
Well, the other thing is, and I joke about this all the time. I wonder if anybody ever thinks I'm serious, but a song that Andy hates is "Shooting Star" by Bad Company,
Yeah.
and it's the same story as this. Although I don't think this guy dies at the end like he does in "Shooting Star," but it's a story of a guy who becomes a rock star, and that's what you have here.
I don't have.
That might be a reason why you react the way you do. Your
could be.
aversion to Shooting Star,
It could
which
be.
again, it's a cheesy fucking song.
Yeah.
Cheese sells. Everybody knows it.
Yeah. And I like cheese. I'm not opposed to that, but were you
Well
gonna say something
executed. You got to respect it to some degree.
there? Okay. Never mind. Nothing from Nick. Yeah. I thought Nick had something for us.
All right, I'll say something.
I thought you had something that never mind.
Oh, oh man.
Made his whole life change. Now he needs to keep it rocking. He just can't stop. Gotta keep on rocking. That boy has got to stay on top and be a jukebox hero. Got stars in his eyes.
Chris said cheese sells.
I was asleep at the wheel there.
He's a jukebox hero. Got stars.
Possibly the worst comedic timing in entertainment history. What just happened here? You should have just abandoned it.
No.
It's gone. You can't salvage it at that point.
It could
Yet
happen if it
Andy's forcing it through with his fucking hand
did it.
gestures over here. Do it, Nick.
He made it happen.
Do it, Nick. It'll still be funny.
It's still-
Wrong.
It'll be funny when I do it again too.
Yeah, great. Terrible. Now here we go into another switching gears in the arrangement, which is again, we talk about it all the time, and we always seem to like it when you have a varied arrangement that keeps things interesting. This song definitely has it, and you're definitely about to kick it into overdrive here, which is great.
Is that where they do the Led Zeppelin thing?
Well, during
morph
this
into-
section,
okay.
but it's several minutes into
Okay.
it.
I mean, it's nearly communication breakdown.
That's what I was thinking, kind of. Like, I mean, you could just pull that out and put that in.
Yeah.
That's, I don't know. It would fit.
Can't say I ever really paid attention to that short solo before, but it was great.
Yeah, I mean, Mick Jones doesn't get really a lot of credit for his guitar playing, but he's got a great tone. Most of his solos are great. I know the Hot Blooded solo, a lot of people point to it as being something that, like, oh, it's too weird, it doesn't fit. But then you hear it so much, you're like, you can't imagine anything else being in that solo section. Something more conventional wouldn't work as well. I mean, the guy, again, they're not known for their musicianship necessarily or who's in the band. It's the songs and the vocals. But all the other elements are there, and it's quality stuff for what it is.
I was actually a little, I won't say disappointed, but I was hoping the solo would go on a little
Well,
bit
see
more.
it live. It'll go on for 5 minutes for you.
That could have been part of it, too. That was a little bit much.
Well, he's about to take it up a
Yeah.
notch even higher next, It's
Yeah.
definitely one of those things where, okay, the song's about to end,
Go ape shit.
See how far you can push
Yeah.
it. It's like Paul Stanley, Crazy Nights era.
Which that
Show
makes
us
me,
what you can do.
That makes me laugh, too. So, and
Oh,
I
yeah.
love that. So it's not necessarily a bad thing. It's just the audacity to
Yeah.
go that crazy. I don't know.
There you
I like
go.
that ending.
Yeah. Great arrangement in that song. It's varied and always interesting.
Well, Andy, you chose it.
Did I? I did.
You did. What do you think? I think you should be the first to.
Oh, that's usually how it goes. So I'm going to give it a Sweet Surrender.
It's sweet surrender. Hell yes.
I can't not give it a Sweet Surrender.
Mm-hmm.
It's a great song. It brings joy to me.
It does.
Whether it's it makes me laugh. Whether it's the intention I'm not laughing and saying that's a piece of shit. I just, again, the level that he has turned himself up to deliver that vocal is what makes me laugh. But doesn't mean it's a bad thing. And like you said, like My Way on Crazy Nights, that's the same reaction that song gives me, that this song gives me.
It makes you happy.
It makes me happy, but maybe not not like, oh man, that's amazing that he can do that with his instrument, his voice. It's just like, I can't believe he's doing that with his voice. And I laugh and I'm happy.
It's more the choice.
Yeah,
is what you're laughing
but
at.
hey, whatever, right? As long as it's a positive reaction. And I don't know where that comes from. I'm not saying I'm right to feel that way. I'm assuming, just trying to psychoanalyze myself on the fly as we discuss this. There's a lot of layers to that onion, I suppose.
We can maybe get a special guest next week. To do that.
Oh. But maybe it's because the music I was into when I like that early teen age, when it becomes the most impactful to you for the rest of your life, was more simplistic.
Okay.
So maybe that makes me think this is ridiculous, because that's the opposite of what I was into at that point. And that's kind of what forms you, even though you branch out from there.
Well, sure. Yeah. And, your tastes lean more to the type of music that was supposed to be anti this type of music.
Right.
So that factors into it.
Yeah. Who wants to vote next?
I'll go next.
All right.
I'll give it a Sweet Surrender as well.
Yeah, you will.
It's sweet surrender. Hell yes.
You can't deny the performances. It's a cheesy subject matter is cheesy, but I will say, and I defy anybody listening to deny that they ever had these feelings when they first picked up a rock instrument.
Yeah.
Because you do. Mm-hmm. Maybe you wouldn't word it this way exactly, but this is something that you can identify with in some way.
Yeah, you don't pick up an instrument and be like, I'm going to suck at this and give it up. You think like, hey, man, I might be onto something here. Yeah, I might be able to come up with something that...
Well, of course, nowadays, it's just, kids are like, I want to get up in front of a festival with my two digital turntables and wear a set of headphones and wave one of my arms around and have 80,000 people be into what I'm doing.
That last sentiment of the masses appreciating
whatever it is you're doing,
what you're doing with your quote unquote instrument. That never changes.
I would hope not.
So
because that's otherwise just keep the shit to yourself. Nobody's interested.
See, that's the mistake Sammy Hagar made in '77.
Well, it didn't hurt him.
I'm going to
much.
wave this around.
Getting thrown people off that tour didn't really upend him that much.
It didn't. It didn't.
So
minor setback.
I enjoyed the solo. Always really liked the chorus, how it slowed down. I'm a big fan of that. There's not much left to say that we haven't already gotten into. So but you can't deny, even if you find certain elements of it to be comical in its delivery, you can't deny that it's a great hard rock song. And really, it's a song you would throw in the time capsule. Mm-hmm. For a certain genre of music at a certain period of time. Mm-hmm. So,
that's a full time capsule too. Like I said, this was in the days where, like, albums, especially with the likes of Mutt Lange working on them, there were no songs the intent wasn't to be, that's going to be a filler song. They made an attempt for every song to be single worthy. Yeah. Like the first Boston album, every song got played on the radio. Every one.
Yeah. That's true. Chris, you ready to vote? I think I know what your vote is.
Sweet Surrender.
It's sweet surrender.
fact, if you can take that water pie out of your mouth long enough to manipulate the board, I'm going to ask for you to play something that you usually narrate over, but I'm going to narrate over it this time. You know what I mean, right?
Yeah, I do, but let me see if I can find it.
Idiot.
What can you say about
Juke Box Hero?
that hasn't been said before?
You know, it's funny you said that because I had that thought about 30 seconds before you said it that I should just get it and surprise you with it. But
No,
then I
it's-
thought, no, I'll just take
yeah.
another bite of pie. He's not going to go there. And then you went there.
Yeah, and we covered it, you know. We
Yeah.
covered everything. It speaks for itself. Hugely successful. You know, I'm a big fan.
All right. Well, guys, guess what?
All right, Hammond, I got a question for you.
Why is that still funny after 400 episodes or whatever?
It is funny.
It's timeless entertainment.
It is. Paul Stanley needs to know if Jukebox Hero is a rock and roll boner classic, as voted by the 3 rock and roll boners in this room at this very moment. Nick with his empty bottle of spicy ginger ale.
It wasn't that spicy, actually.
You gonna write a letter to Jungle Jim?
No.
No.
You know what? I ended up getting the Gene Simmons money bag ginger ale.
Really? I didn't know they had
Yeah.
it. How bad was it?
I didn't have it yet, but I'll probably bring it one of these weeks.
Saving it.
Yeah, because I got a few ginger ales, and I got probably, I don't know how good the soda's going to be, but undoubtedly the greatest label ever on a soda.
Let's see this.
The Richie Valens
Oh,
Soy
shit.
Capitan Cola.
Where'd you find that?
That was at Jungle Jim's. Yeah,
Oh, that's
they,
a must
They had
buy.
one bottle left. I was like, Richie
Oh, you
Valens.
gotta have it.
Yeah, you can't even. You can drink it, but you have to keep that bottle.
And there's the money bag soda right next to it.
Too bad they didn't have any of the Bob. Damn it! I'm going to say it. Let me gather myself because this is a good one, and I think so. But precisely why it'll probably fall flat. But too bad they didn't have any of the Bob Morales sarsaparilla available. That would be good. Not my first or my last on the label.
With you can cut out the I'm messing up too here. You could cut out some little stamps off of the back of the packaging and send it in to try to win a drawing table.
Yeah, there you go. Exactly.
How great would that be if they actually did that? though?
Somebody needs to do that, if not us.
And they just had a drawing table and they said, all right, it's a raffle. Someone's going to win it. That's one of the gimmicks.
you buy one drawing table.
But yeah, so you're in possession of the Richie Valens gin. Is it cola?
I think it's just a cola, yeah. Soy Capitan.
Nice. I didn't even know those that existed. That you see that, you're grabbing it instantly.
Immediately, yeah. It was
I mean,
like,
you don't even. There's not
yeah.
even like, should I buy this? You're reaching for it.
yeah.
It could be
I mean, you
beef
got-
broth.
That's
for all I
incredible.
care. Doesn't matter what it is. I'm buying it.
Yeah, you see Richie on a label, you're buying
Yeah,
it. I don't care
guaranteed.
what it is.
There's no tie-in to anything, though, huh? It wasn't like a pun on anything.
Not that I know
Maybe it
of.
was soy sauce.
Oh, a little soy in the cola.
Is it?
Because,
could work.
Latinos are known for their soy sauce.
It might be a Jungle Jim's original. He doesn't care.
Jungle Jim.
But I hope it's an officially licensed product.
He probably just
With the
printed
blessing of
I-
Richie Valens.
I saw it on Facebook
Best
before.
estate.
I'm in a
Really?
Richie Valens group, and I did see it before.
You're in a Richie Valens group.
I am.
Invite me to that.
Okay.
I want in.
Some of it, Donna's in it. The Donna from the song.
Really?
She's in it. Yeah,
She-
a couple of people who knew him are in it.
So she responds.
She'll
to
put
things
stuff on there
Wow.
sometimes. Yeah.
How weird is that, though? Like, I'm assuming she had a full life. I mean, she's alive, but like,
Yeah. She didn't just
another
sit there.
love, if
I don't
not
think.
several others.
Yeah.
It's weird to be like, yeah, anyway. Back when I was a teenager.
Part of her life, I
Yeah.
guess, and
I guess.
there's other parts.
Yeah.
You ever ask her if her racist dad actually kept them apart, or was that just in the movie?
Yeah, I don't know. Nobody brings that up that I know of.
Well, you're going to invite Chris, so
So it's
Here it
all
comes.
over.
Yeah,
Well-
the question will be raised.
Donna has left the group. It's going to be one of those, hey guys, I thought we were all better than this.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly.
No abusive
Okay,
language.
let me reiterate the rules to all the new members here. Okay, you know, the admin of the group flexing their
Yeah,
muscles.
we're just here to have a good time.
Yeah. I won't hesitate to bounce somebody if they don't play by the. Oh, okay, you do that. You know, wield your considerable authority over the Richie Valens Facebook group. Fuck out of here. My vote's in, by the way.
my vote's in. Nick,
My vote is in.
what's the order?
Chris, me, Andy.
Sure. All right.
Yeah, I think. Yeah, that's a good order for this one.
All right.
Rock.
Roll.
Boner.
Talk about an over-the-top vocal.
It's a rockin' the ball.
Yeah,
He's
Again.
in that vein right there with
He
his
is.
vocal.
I was going to say, we talk about it all the time. Pete Weber, I bet.
highly entertaining, funny.
Yeah.
In fact, you could create an entire Broadway play from that,
moment.
outburst. Who do you think you are? I am.
I'd go see it.
You kidding?
What would Pete Weber's beverage be? Got Morales sarsaparilla,
I'm thinking
Valens soy sauce.
I'm thinking like a Midwestern, just watered down beer.
See, I was going with like a gas station, like one of those trucker energy drinks.
Oh, yeah.
One level below
I
methamphetamine.
think that's in the wheelhouse. Yeah. 5 minute energy.
Yeah. Ungodly amount of
Turns you
caffeine.
into a raging maniac for 5 minutes, then you're back to normal.
So you just take it right before the 10th,
Yeah.
strike out in the 10th, and go nuts, and there
exactly,
you go.
and then you're just back to
then you
normal.
collapse.
The post game interview, you're just very even keel, normal.
Mumbling, basically.
Yeah, but a few minutes before, you were on the verge of being a homicidal maniac, or like Andy once brilliantly observed, yelling like a homeless person.
You know, there's something I brought up to you guys a while ago. Down the street from where I'm living, taking a walk, there's this yard that has, I think it's 7 bowling balls in the yard as lawn decorations. And I sent that to our friend Tom Codle because he's an avid bowler. He's like, yeah, I've heard of that. And didn't he say people have asked me if they could have my old bowling balls to use for lawn decorations? I've never heard of this in my life
it's
until
me
like
neither.
2 weeks ago or whatever it was. But they're just strewn about the lawn. There's a Rhino Pro on this lawn just sitting there. And then there's like 5 random, like the house balls or whatever, like black ones. And then there's a red one and a yellow one. Like, what
Let's
is
say those real bowling balls are not cheap.
No, they're
You're
not.
going to use that as a lawn ornament?
Right. I don't understand what's happening here. So, but apparently in the bowling world, this is a thing. Maybe that's how you retire your bowling balls. I don't know.
These same people can't even pay their fucking gas bill, but they got fucking $100 bowling balls in their
To just
front yard.
stick halfway in the mud.
It doesn't.
Stupid.
That's the other thing. It doesn't look good.
It doesn't. It's dumb. I didn't even know that was a thing. I wish I didn't know it was a thing.
In that picture, I think I might have just sent you the one picture of the Rhino Pro. So maybe you thought it was just someone's ball they dropped on the lawn, but no, they're all over the place in this lawn. I don't get it. But hey, I'm sorry.
That's just the fucking way it is.
All right, guys, we got some big stuff coming up.
Oh, I can't wait for
it's
big
big,
stuff.
but you know what's even bigger?
No.
This ad. All right, we're back.
What an ad.
What an ad. All right, and guess what time it is?
Yards of questions. Motherfucker, I give them.
Oh, is that Sammy Hagar talking there?
That's him. That's him talking to the band before they go on. Sammy, you're gonna have a stroke.
Oh, Sammy.
Says like Michael Anthony
Yeah,
probably
exactly.
too. Sammy, come on.
You're gonna have a stroke.
He just turns.
Speaking
to
of
him.
Jason Bonham, was he with the Circle? I
Yeah,
imagine?
he was there.
So that would have been a cool show to see.
It was good.
I was actually offered a friend of mine tickets to the VIP area, but I had old girl's birthday party going on that night.
Oh,
Couldn't
okay.
go.
Yeah. Well, I'll tell you one thing. It was hell getting in there.
I bet.
Oh, I don't doubt that. Yeah, logistically, it's
I hadn't
nightmare.
been. I hadn't been there in a long time. Either I forgot what it was like, or my tolerance level is lower for nonsense. But
How much are they charging at like Clark Field?
$30
Get
to
outta
park
here.
across
Jesus.
the.
I'm not even that old, and I remember being like 5.
Yeah. $30 to park down the street, and it is a far ass walk. They make
Fuck
you walk
that.
all the way to the far end. So basically, we'll say on the north end, there's the outdoor amphitheater.
Yeah.
On the south end is where like the carnival entrance is, and it's a big carnival. It's not like a little tiny
No,
neighborhood carnival.
it's a big deal.
Yeah. They make you walk all the way to the south entrance to come in because that's where the police are that wand you.
Right.
And they open the exit after the show to the north end, which is by the park, sort of by the parking area. But you have to walk really far.
Yeah.
So, and
Deal
then
with that shit anymore.
walk through the carnival.
Well,
Yeah.
that's a whole other. Yeah.
With me and my 2 children, I was like, oh, this is a mistake. But I told Nick, now my daughters, hopefully it didn't register, but they heard the N-word quite a few times as we walked through the
Oh,
carnival,
dear.
just from youngsters throwing that
I'm sure
around
from
willy-nilly.
from all different demographics.
Probably,
as well.
yeah.
Yes.
And I was just like, come on. Maybe I'm an old guy and I shouldn't have been there. That's how I felt.
It's
Bad
probably
choice.
true.
So you were. It was your fault. You're saying
Well, yeah, kind of.
it was making you feel like it was your
yes,
fault.
yes. Like I shouldn't. I shouldn't be here.
The bad behavior of everybody else is your fault.
Not the behavior. I don't. They weren't. They weren't pointing that word at me in the moment, but that would have been much scarier. I would have been running with
kind
the
of
stroller.
a title of honor, perhaps.
Yeah, maybe, but usually I think if that's getting thrown at you, there's some kind of physical altercation around the corner. But
Probably.
Yeah,
It's-
my days of going to shit like that are probably over. Isn't Pierogi Fest this weekend?
It's coming.
Yeah, it
yeah.
is.
I'm not going to that either. That's another parking nightmare and just huge crowds. Plus, it's gonna be broiling hot this week. Fuck that, man. Not happening.
yeah, I'm done. I feel like I'm done with
You
it.
should be.
I'm done with it as well, and I was always all about that pierogi fest.
Well, you probably had some inside parking at some point. Your wife lived over there before you guys were married. Did she have a secret parking spot?
No, it was still a walk. I mean,
Because that's, yeah, like Chris said, another nightmare.
well, and it's one of those areas where people put the lawn chairs
Right.
out.
Oh, yeah.
This is my spot. I'm putting a lawn
Yeah.
chair here.
that was the same thing at the Festival of the Lakes.
Which is,
lawn
I think,
chairs
technically
everywhere.
against the law, I think.
Right, but
But-
if you move somebody's lawn chair and park there, you can expect your car to be fucked up when you come back. To the law of the jungle in that situation.
Yeah,
it is.
Yeah.
It is.
That's it. Period. If you want to you want to move somebody's chair and park your car there, your car will be fucked up, and there will be no recourse on your part unless you want to, up the ante of the jungle justice, so to speak, and just go to the house where you're parked in front of and start busting out windows and stuff.
It's probably
But-
happened.
Yeah, I'm sure it has,
Insane
but
people.
the thing to do is just is as ridiculous as it is, you respect the
lawn chair.
lawn chair or the fucking plastic bin or whatever object is there to block off a parking space. You simply don't move it and park there unless you just are fine with your car being destroyed and vandalized.
Yeah, egged at minimum.
Well, egging isn't going to be where it ends.
No.
Your windows will be busted out. It'll be keyed out the wazoo. Tires probably slashed.
It could be
Sugar in the gas tank. Go down the list.
Depending how far they go, it could be cheaper than parking, though.
It's true. True. It's a good point there.
Ridiculous. Yeah, that's for youngsters. All that nonsense. Like, oh, we got a shuttle. I'm not getting on a shuttle with these people.
Yeah, what is this, Ravinia?
it's a
fucking
Hammond
white
school
trash
bus.
version of Ravinia.
Yeah.
It's another logistical nightmare.
It's terrible.
Dealing with that place up in the north shore of Chicago. Beautiful venue.
I forgot how bad that was
But
until I
that's-
went like 3 years ago.
Yeah. We went on a bit of a binge where we saw several shows, and the last one we went to, I think it was Stevie Nicks, and it's just like, you know what? I'm not doing this again. It's not worth it.
I don't even know what is worth it.
Well, that's
I guess
the thing.
maybe if it's like, this is going to sound crazy, but maybe the easiest thing is like a United Center where you just pull into the parking lot, give someone money,
Yeah.
and walk in. Instead of parking on some city street
Oh,
where
yeah. Well, that's-
God
that's-
knows what's going to happen and you have to walk 8 blocks and some guy's going to be fucking with you when you come out at midnight or whatever.
It's the worst.
Because that's happened too, where you get crazy people and want to start shit with you, you know, who are not involved with the concert at all. Just isolated parking area that you pay to get.
Well, and
get
that was
the hell
another
out.
thing. When we used to come to Red Wings games at the Chicago Stadium when we were coming in from out of town, it's like if you found street parking, there was always like guys walking around or be like, "I watch your car for $10." It's like if you don't pay them the $10, you can expect your car to be fucked up when you come back
Yep.
out of that arena. So you better be ponying up
Yeah.
$10.
Yep.
It's a
Just
extortion.
how things work. But well, and then United Center, you expect to pay $30 for parking in Chicago. $30 for parking in shit pile Hammond? Fuck that, man.
Yeah,
You want to talk about extortion? It's ridiculous.
it is. All right, I'm gonna go with this Yardo questions based on name alone.
Oh, wow.
Oh boy,
'Cause
that's
it's gonna
risky.
It's gonna get Chris fired up.
Risky.
So the name, before I open the Yardo questions, Lambier sucks and is overrated.
All right, that's not good. I don't like that at all. Nope. I'm not happy with that at all.
Well, maybe this fella or lady could redeem him or herself.
or
here.
airplane fan.
All right, great show, yada yada. Love you guys to the bitter end. Question.
Now this is the bitter end for you, trashing Bill Lambier in my presence. I don't abide that bullshit.
Question 1. What makes a concert the greatest show you've ever seen? What criteria is involved in that decision?
There's a lot. It's, I mean, obviously it's the band, it's the show that they put on, but it's the venue, and we were just talking about how it's could be a potential nightmare getting in and out of the venue and the area. I think that has a lot to do with
That's
it.
it now.
It's part of the whole experience.
Yeah, it's like you see a show at Ravinia, and like as the show is winding down, you're already thinking like, my God, I've got to deal with this 40-minute walk to the shuttle, and then there's a half-hour wait to get on the shuttle, and it's packed, and then you got a 20-minute drive to the parking lot. It's like, who fucking conceived that? It's insanity.
I mean, it's like everything. Every factor has to be. Everything has to be going well for it to be like, oh, that was one of the best concerts I've ever been to. Yeah, I don't think it's very often that you have a nightmare experience getting there. You don't like the person you're with at the show, and you're like, that was one of the best shows I've ever seen.
Yeah.
I think it's kind of like a dinner. Where like the food's got to
Food
be good.
sucks 'cause
the
the-
food has to be good, but everything else has to be good for you to say that was one of the best dinners. You have to be having a great time with whoever's with you.
Yeah. I mean, for me, I'll just say that it comes down to something simple. It's just like what's happening on stage has got to command your attention throughout the whole thing, and like frequently, if not throughout the entire thing, you're just, your jaw is hanging open. It's like, this is incredible. I've said it before, I'll say it again. Not my preferred style of music by any means, but the 2 times I saw Slayer, easily 2 of the best, absolute best concerts I've ever seen. Just the sheer power and impressiveness of what they do on stage was just undeniable.
And then I'm sure what's happening around you, like the energy of all the people, is
Kind of, yeah. I mean, definitely more so at the first time I saw them, which was in an old airplane hangar in Grand Rapids, and it was a mayhem in there. The last time was their last tour, and it was at the outdoor shed, so it was, you know, we were in seats in the pavilion. But just what was happening on stage and the sheer power that was coming off of that stage, and especially this last time with, 30 plus years into their career, those fucking guys played, it was like AC/DC in that they played over 2 hours.
Wow.
And never let up in the intensity at all. That's fucking impressive.
It is.
And so, like I said, for me, it's got to be just like, you come walking out of there, it's like, holy shit, that was awesome. And the 2 times I saw Slayer, absolutely at the top. And the other one is Iron Maiden. The first time I've seen them once, and that was Book of Souls tour a few years ago. That was another one, just nonstop entertainment. The whole production, the stage set, the energy, the songs, fucking great. Top shelf all the way. That's another band that's not in the Hall of Fame. You kidding me? Yeah. Iron Maiden? Those guys. And like I talked about before, there's that theatrical element is undeniable, and it's part of the appeal. People are drawn to that.
Question 2 is related to question 1.
Okay.
What do you consider to be the greatest/best show you've ever seen, where you think no one is going to believe what I just saw?
Wow.
Best show I've ever seen.
I mean, there are. I don't know if I have one that I would say is for sure it. First time I saw the Brian Setzer Orchestra Christmas Extravaganza, that was one of those things where I'm like, yeah, that was like a kitchen sink. It was at the House of Blues, so it wasn't a giant stage setup production or anything, but it was like musically and entertainment wise, it was, it was like perfect. Best show I've ever seen. I mean, it's a cover band. It's an officially licensed cover band. When I saw the Musical Box, the Genesis tribute,
Genesis one.
it was awesome. I mean, and I've heard that members of Genesis have said in the past, like, they're kind of better than we were, and it was really just an incredible, like, production, the theatrics, the music. It was like exactly what would have been done in the early 70s, but it was great. I don't know, those two always stand out, but yeah, I don't know. I'll have to think a little bit more, but and there's something about, like, when you're young, also, like when I saw 9 Inch Nails the first time, I mean, it's like super memorable, and it's a band I don't listen to anymore, but like I would have put that one up there too, just because it was a really cool show, cool opening band, like first kind of like heavy kind of music concert I've ever been to. So there's something to that too when it's new to you.
9 Inch Nails have a shitload of great songs.
Yeah, I mean,
especially those first 3 albums, 4 albums.
He writes great pop songs.
Yeah,
ultimately.
Yeah.
Well, right. anytime you're getting mega popular, there's a pop element to your songwriting. It's, is it cynical? Who knows? But
it's not for us to decide.
No, exactly. And the criteria is just like that people wouldn't necessarily believe what I just saw, or what?
I guess he said where you think no one is going to believe what I just saw. Like, that was incredible. So incredible. People would shit their pants. If
Well,
they saw it.
I'd point to, again, the first time I saw Slayer, just in that the venue was literally an empty airplane hangar in Grand Rapids and had like rows of bleachers along either side of the wall, but the place was empty except for a fucking stage. It was just packed full and just insanity in there. But the other one I'll point to, also in Grand Rapids, the first time I saw, excuse me, Living Color. The energy those guys put out and the intensity that they whipped the crowd into was not something I was fully expecting. And that show was amazing. So I would point to that one as well. I mean, those guys are really, especially in the early days, because, they played at CBGB and stuff like that. So they were, not on that level, but I mean, they were closer to like a Bad Brains type of vibe and concert. And the impact they had on the crowd and the energy in that room was amazing.
And I was just thinking more about the Nine Inch Nails thing. I always overlook because I'm still not a huge Bowie fan, but yeah, Bowie was there too.
That's right, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, that happened as well.
Yeah. Was he opening, or was it some...
Yeah.
Or did he headline?
I think he opened.
How crazy, huh?
I think he opened for them, yeah. And this is, I think, before they did the I'm Afraid of Americans together. I think it was before that. And I remember the entrance. I just remembered this when Nine Inch Nails came on. I don't recall the stage. The stage was nighttime. It was outdoor, and the stage was already fairly darkened. There wasn't the big. It darkens. Everybody stands up.
And starts cheering a little bit.
Yeah, it wasn't like that at all. It was dark already. And then suddenly the lights came on. All the guys were on stage and they were playing the song.
Just like a surprise.
Like a surprise, which that was a really cool effect.
They took out the suspense and just kind of scared you.
Yeah, basically, yeah.
That's cool.
Yeah, I mean, just a fun little moment. Great way to start the show.
Mm-hmm. I usually don't answer these, but I'm going to throw in part of, as far as like what criteria. I was thinking about this. Sometimes it's not just the band you see, but it's the band and the location together. Because it could be great location, great band, but when they match up just right, it's perfect. Like, there's a band that we saw probably 10 times in the late 90s or early 2000s called the Suicide Machines. Suicide Machines at the Metro are all the best concerts I've ever seen in my life. Every one of those. Suicide Machines at smaller and bigger venues, not as good. But every time at the Metro, and other bands at the Metro, good. There was something about them at the Metro, and I don't know what it was, but it was like the whole floor going crazy, but it wasn't like violent. Right. It wasn't like Slayer crazy, but it was just like, like everybody crowd surfing, everybody singing, everybody sweaty, like the whole, the dude holding the mic into the crowd and it was just like really interactive where everybody was like, it's hard to explain when like whatever that is, 1,000 people heightened the energy of a show together.
That's true.
That makes the show maybe more than anything
I think
else.
I went to maybe 2 of those. And yeah, they were great.
Yeah. Great band. Question 3. If you could give any band a pure fan's advice on what to stop doing or start doing, who that be and what would be your advice? Best, Larry fucking Bird.
What was the question again?
If just from a fan's perspective, if you could give a band advice on what to start doing or what to stop doing, something that either would improve their act or, I guess, improve either way, but either add this or take this away to improve their act.
That's a very interesting question.
What would it be? Is there a band that you like that you think is missing something or is doing something that you think is detrimental to their advancement or?
And it's funny because I don't want it to be Kiss as my answer, because that's what every fan every fan kind of has their spiel of what they should or should not be doing at any given time. Mm-hmm. So I don't want to go down that road. I'd rather do some other group.
I thought you were going to say, but I'm going to do it anyway.
No, because I think we've beaten that to death over the years.
Can I just do the easy one and be like Five-Finger Death Punch? Just stop, period. Just stop existing. And they could ease into that by stopping doing covers, desecrating great songs with their fucking versions of them. Because if they stop doing that, they have to rely on their original stuff, and then I think they would disappear after that. But that... I'm going with the easy one because we're kind of running out of gas a little bit, but that's fine. Five-Finger Death Punch, just stop.
I can't think of a single song by that band. I know they get brought up on here. No idea. Andy, is there a song that I would know by them?
I don't know any of their songs. I only know the Bad Company cover that Chris made me listen to.
Made you listen to?
Oh, by describing it to me.
Oh, it's so bad. Then jingoistic, we support the troops video. It's just so lame. And they do like Blue on Black, isn't that like Kenny Wayne Shepherd or something?
They do that one too. Huh?
It sucks. The original's great. Their version has just destroyed it. So yeah. That's what I got.
That's a tough one. I am currently sifting through one of my playlists just to see if there's a band that I think is lacking anything at this point in time. Man, that is a very good question, though. I think I'm going to go to Aerosmith. I don't know how they'd be able to do this, but I think somehow if they could scale everything back a little bit as far as just dirtying up the overall sound. This is a kind of a lame one because everybody always says, I wish they'd make an album like one of their old albums. And they tried that more than a few years back now, probably almost 10. And it failed. And I think it's because there's too much of it's centered around the vocals more than the guitars, if that makes any sense. Mm-hmm. And if there was a way that you could just say, hey, do you still have the same equipment that you used in the 70s? Can you just bring out, you guys are the same guys, but see if you can mix things live and in the studio. Can you mix things and can you use the same equipment? And you could still be who you are now, but people really want that vintage sound.
Well, it's kind of what Kiss did with Sonic Boom.
Yeah, they went to all analog, right?
Yeah, vintage equipment, recording equipment and stuff,
Yeah, and it would have been great if that, was it Tales from Another Dimension or something like that last Aerosmith album, if that had come across the way that it sounded like it was going to come across. And yeah, that's a good point with the Sonic Boom comparison, because that is what I remember in interviews leading up to that release that Kiss was boasting of.
Right. And I think they pulled it off to a good, large extent.
I think so. So, yeah, I mean, it would be... commercially, it probably wouldn't be a great idea.
No,
but this is one of those self-indulgent fanboy kind of things. It would be great to get a dirty, heavy, really guitar-driven Aerosmith album.
All right. Well, thank you, Larry Bird, for your Yardo questions. And if you want to submit a Yardo questions, go to potofthunder.com. Make that happen. Add some songs to the listener submission list. And if we choose your song, you'll get a sticker eventually. It used to be pretty much immediately. It's eventually right now. It'll go back to immediately later. But don't worry. I got you. Just remind me if you haven't gotten one yet, and I'll keep it on the list. Alrighty. Well, we'll be back next week with more Pot of Thunder.
Andy Jones, Nick Jones, Chris Listen worldwide, Pitbull, take a sound. I'm gonna do it for you.
Sounds
like the beginning of Juke Box Hero.
It does.
Talk about a vintage throwback right there.
Yep. That's it.